Scrimmage 2 in the books. The good thing is that we don't play yet. We're not a finished product by any means, so we still got a lot of work to do. But, we got to look at a lot of guys today. If you watch, there was a ton of different rotations trying to get kind of a last live look at a handful of guys to see if they can help us. Thought the defense had just a little bit more juice in the offense today. They're all beat down and exhausted and tired, but we're not quite done yet. 3 more days of camp before we can kind of turn the page and start looking at game 1. And I think the film will be really good to learn from. Not sure we did anything really, really well today, but we got a lot of situations work that we haven't had a chance to get live. That'll be good to teach from, and hopefully in the midst of all the chaos and all the transitions from one group to the next and substitutions, hopefully we're going to find a few guys that showed up in a way today that we can count on them as we start leaning towards game time. Beyond that, until I see the tape, it'd be hard to tell you much else.
There are a couple of contributors on the offensive line out today.
Yeah.
Jacob came to mind. Is that just precautionary?
Well, dinged up, but should be back in a couple days, but weren't ready to go today. So that obviously affected that first group a little bit. And there were other guys that were on a limited basis as well. And the integrity of the O-line is a critical thing. And when you start making substitutions there, it doesn't look the same. So I'm frustrated with that, but it was necessary today to get those guys back and get them healthy.
We got the chance to see Dom Tatum as well.
Yeah.
How has he been coming along rehab-wise?
I think he's looking great considering the injury that he had and how significant it was. It was possible that he wouldn't play football again, and then for him to be ready at this early stage in the year has our rehab department and our strength department and Dom himself have done a phenomenal job. And he's gained about 10, 15 pounds, and I think he looks awesome, and we're lucky to have him back. He was one of our best players in the back end when he went down last year.
Coach Ike Larson has had a big impact here in the scrimmage. What have you seen out of him so far?
Who's that?
Ike Larson.
Oh, as I said, I think last week, the guy just keeps showing up. He's been a pleasant surprise. I thought he showed up some in the spring where glimpses, but he's had as good a fall camp as anybody. And that, along with getting Dom back, creates some depth back there that we desperately need. And I think he'll be a big contributor on special teams, nickel package, dime packages. And I can see him very easily working in the rotation where he's playing some significant snaps with the number 1 defense.
Your tight end today, lined up next to the quarterback, took a few carries today. Is that a new wrinkle?
Well, we're looking at, obviously we were doing some 4-minute stuff and some goal line stuff and looking at some package personnel. You've got Levi, who's 230 pounds and can run. Now, he's in a red jersey, so it wasn't quite what you'd want. There may be some tackles he could break that in a red jersey he's not going to get a chance. But Ron brings a physical. He's like having another O-lineman on the field. If he was standing here, I'd tell him he's big, he's fat. So we're using that 270-pound body in some unique ways, and that is a wrinkle that we're flirting with. We'll see how much it gets use during the season. Nobody really wants to talk to you right now. Look, I notice how you get right in the camera. Yeah, okay, whatever.
So, I feel like this week you broke up a few more big runs than maybe last week. I feel like the run game is at least coming along and improving through camp.
Man, I don't know if anything's coming along. It's hard to tell on a day like today because we did so much shuffling around. It was good to see us pop some runs. But I just didn't think we did anything consistent enough to be real excited about anything other than the fact that we don't play for 2 more weeks. And we just got to keep shoring up. You mentioned we got some guys out, so I'm hoping that once we settle in that 5 and we can get good reps with them on a daily basis, that we'll start being a little bit more consistent. The big runs were good. That was good. That was exciting.
Sorry, Patrick Joyner Jr. was not available last week, but he showed up today.
Yeah, so he's been dealing with some lower back and lower leg issues in the last couple weeks, and wanted to try to get out here last week and just wasn't quite ready. Towards the middle of this week, looked better and better, and we saw him last year. But when the guy's healthy, he's an impact player, and we need him to be well and continue to play like he did today.
Coach, beyond Dom Tatum, what's your overall assessment of the secondary, not just today, but in camp as a whole, and who are some guys that you've been impressed with throughout?
Getting Dom back's been huge. I think AJ's move to corner has been a really good move for him. His length showed up again today, although I think Dre and Mike are both playing great. Gervin Hall is a phenomenal addition to losing Shaq. But then we've already talked about Ike Larson is a super pleasant surprise. because he's really able to play either one of those spots back there and gives us a ton of versatility. We've been working through the process of trying to fill the gap of losing Switzer in the spring game, and everybody was able to see Amari play a little bit today and start showing up, and he's the guy that's been battling injuries. But if you get him on the field, I believe it gives us enough depth to be really, kind of play more than one guy, keep guys fresh, and be dynamic back there. I mean, I think you saw that today. Anything else?
When you had Ron out there taking carries, looked like Ale wanted a chance. Any
They all want a chance. Everybody over there wants to either be the quarterback or the running back, right? So, and I told him, no, not happening. This tackle quarterback should be fine.